Welcome to Taj's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make Salmon Avocado Donburi. So donburi is a type of dish where you have the rice on the bottom and you have different toppings on the top. And in Japan, the Salmon Avocado Donburi is not particularly popular or anything. More popular is so-called kaisen donburi, which is another type of rice bowl with many different kinds of seafood. But outside of Japan, getting fresh seafood is not very easy, but one of the easiest raw seafood is the salmon. Instead of different kinds of seafood, you have avocado. It's kind of an alternative version of the kaisen donburi, but nonetheless it's quite very tasty and also very easy to make. If you're not able to get fresh salmon, then you can also make this just with avocado, and then you can make a vegetarian version of this. So I hope you give this a try yourself. Then, let's get started. Here are the ingredients for salmon avocado rice bowl. For the donburi, of course, I have Japanese sticky rice. For the main ingredients, I have here sushi-grade salmon. So for this recipe, of course, you're going to be eating salmon raw. So make sure you get a really fresh salmon that is sushi-grade. Don't just get any salmon. Most salmon sold, especially outside of Japan, is not fresh enough to be eaten raw. Be very careful what kind of quality of salmon you get. Then I have here avocado, a little bit of roasted sesame seeds for the condiments, and I have soy sauce, Mirin. If you don't have mirin, then you can also substitute this with sugar. Then I have here wasabi in tube. If you don't have this, or if you don't like spiciness of the wasabi, then it's not the most important ingredients, but this will give it a little punch to it. If you don't have it, or if you don't want it, it's also okay. Then let's start cooking. So the very first thing to do is prepare the rice. So today I'll actually just need half cup of rice for one portion, but cooking rice in a small portion often doesn't turn out very well. So I'm gonna cook a whole cup of rice. So I'm gonna put this in a pot. Because Japanese sticky rice is sticky, meaning it has a lot of starch, it's necessary to wash them beforehand. So what we're gonna do is just give it a little water and then mix this with your hands. I'm gonna add some water. You see how cloudy the water becomes? This is the excess starch that you wanna get rid of. And then put this back in the pot and then mix again with your hands. I'm gonna give this water again. Then we're gonna leave it like this for a minute and let the water drain. Now once the water has been drained, as you can see the water is very clear. I'm gonna get rid of this. And then we're gonna put this back in the pot. And then we're gonna put in here some water. For 1 cup of rice, I'm gonna put in 1.2 cup of water. It's 1 and 0.2, about 1/5. If you want to know more in detail of how to cook Japanese rice properly, please watch my very first video on how to cook Japanese rice. Then I'm gonna let this sit for at least half an hour in the summer and at least an hour for the winter, and let the rice grain soak in the water. So as we're waiting for the rice, let's prepare the rest of the ingredients. So first I'm gonna cut up the avocados. And today I'm just gonna need half of this. And then just using a spoon and scoop it like this. Now avocado is cut up in dices. Then let's cut up the salmon. So when you're using wooden or bamboo cutting board, make sure you wet the surface before cutting fish or meat. Otherwise it'll be hard to wash off the odor after you cut them. And for the salmon, I'm also gonna just cut into dices. Ooh. And before you're cutting them, make sure you have no bones, because I see 2 bones right here. I cut them from a pretty expensive fish store, but sometimes it happens. So salmon bones, it's quite easy to pluck them with your fingers. If you have a tweezer, it's great, but for salmon bones are quite big, so you can pluck them quite easily with your fingers. Just like this. Just run your finger along the meat like this. You'll feel it if you have a bone. And then I'm gonna cut this into dices. Just like this. And this is also finished. And as the last thing, let's make the sauce. This is also quite very easy. I'm just gonna put in 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And to this, I'm gonna put in 1.5 teaspoons of mirin. If you don't have mirin, then you can use just regular sugar. Then in that case, you put in 1/3 of the amount, which is 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. So 1.5. And then here you can put in how much ever wasabi you like. If you like it spicier, you can put more wasabi. If you don't like the flavor of wasabi, or if you don't have wasabi, you can also skip this. But this will just kind of give the kick to the flavor. So today I'm just gonna put in like that amount. I'm gonna let this dissolve in the sauce. That's done for that. Let's go cook the rice. So it's been an hour. As you can see, the rice has soaked up the water and this is ready. Then I'm gonna turn the heat to high and bring this to boil. So once this comes to a boil, I'm gonna give it a little swirl. And then put the lid back on. Then I'm gonna turn the heat to simmer. Then we're gonna cook like this and simmer for 10 minutes. Now 10 minutes has passed, I'm gonna turn the heat off and then let this sit for 10 more minutes. Now while we're waiting for the rice to be cooked, I'm gonna mix up the sauce and the salmon. So when you do this, is pretty much up to you. That's just a preference thing. Some people like to do it an hour prior to serving. So I'm just gonna add in the sauce to the salmon and give it a little light mix like this. I'll let this sit like this for 10 minutes or so. I'll let the salmon marinate. So it's been 10 minutes, the rice is ready. Let's see how it turned out. Oh yeah, it looks perfect. I'm gonna give it a little mix with a spatula like this. And when you use a spatula, make sure you wet that first. Otherwise the rice is gonna stick all over the spatula. So at the very last moment, I'm gonna mix the avocado and the salmon. And I'm just gonna mix this up like this. Then this is finished. Let's assemble with the rice. So we're gonna put the rice in the bowl. About half of this. Let's try to make it a little bit flat like this. And on top of this, I'm gonna put in the salmon and the avocado. And also the sauce. Then at the very end, I'm gonna top it with a little bit of roasted sesame seeds. Then this is finished. Let's eat. Oh, this looks so delicious. Let's eat. Itadakimasu. Oh, look at that. It's so delicious. So I know that in Western cultures it is rude to pick up a plate or bowl like this, but in Japan this is how we eat, and especially the donburi or rice bowl, there's no other way than to eat like this. Unless you're using a spoon, then you don't necessarily have to pick it up, but with a chopstick, you have to pick it up like this. And also I may have to make some slurping noise, so please bear with me with that. Itadakimasu. Oh, so perfect. Oh, this is so delicious. So this kind of sweet soy sauce matches salmon and avocado really well, and the wasabi is kind of giving a little kick to it. Everything matches really perfectly and goes really well with the rice. So this is really delicious. So I personally like a little bit more spicy, so I'm gonna add a little bit of extra wasabi to it. Just on the side like this. So pick up wasabi like this a little bit, add it to the salmon, and eat it. Itadakimasu. Really good. Oh, this is so delicious. Oh, that was delicious. ごちそうさまでした. Oh, that was so filling, so savory. So as you saw, making this salmon avocado donburi is very, very easy. So as many noticed, it's actually pretty much the same as the California roll. But this takes a lot less time, and you don't need to prepare the sushi rice, you don't need to roll anything. This can be done under half an hour, except for preparing the rice beforehand. Today I made it with salmon, but you can use pretty much any other fish like tuna or any white fish, so as long as of course it is a sushi quality. Or if you're a vegetarian, you can skip the fish and just make it with avocado. Or you can also substitute it with tofu, and then you have a vegetarian donburi. And as you saw, this is very easy, so I hope you give this a try. If you enjoyed what you saw, I'd love it if you could hit the like button for me, so that this video can be spread to many people. And if you have any question or request, any feedback, I always love to read them. Please feel free to write anything in the comments below. Otherwise, I look forward to see you in the next video. Bye!